what would you suggest for a builder as far as content is really like a must-have content that's critical?
So, Rick, I think what you described, I completely agree with. So now the question becomes about how do you present that, right? Because you can present that like in a spreadsheet,
Yeah, right. Oh gosh.
and you totally lose the emotional connection piece that we've been talking about,
Hmm.
right? So how do you present that information that helps somebody really start to connect to it? So location, it's like, well, it could be an address. Well, that doesn't really tell me anything, right?
Hmm.
Can it be a map where I can see it now in some type of proximity? Do I have some graphics show? Oh, it's in the such and such school district, so I get a
Hmm.
feel for where that location is, or oh, look at all the shopping or the other types of things that are nearby that might matter to me. So trying to figure out, even location can start to have an emotional connection, right, of how we
Sure.
do that, right? Floor plans, yes, floor plans can be, ugly black and white little architectural drawings from an architect, or they can
Ugh.
be beautiful. So when we say floor plans, what does that really mean, right? The 3D kind of walkthroughs, the ability to really visualize this home, interactive floor plans where you can turn options on and off and start to build. We have a partner that works with those that talks about that people will spend 20 to 30 minutes customizing floor plans with some of these tools. They'll drag furniture around and move it in the rooms and everything else. And gosh, by the time that they save that, if they've spent 20 to 30 minutes playing around with it, that's a connection now. That's a commitment emotionally to you versus the other builder that they may have looked at. And so all of a sudden, these types of tools, make a huge difference. The photography is critical. And again, trying to help them understand, what does this look like? What am I going to see? And the transparency with that too, right? If you've got the used car lot next door, you're not doing anybody any favors if you're not transparent about that either.
Sure.
And then they show up and they're like, wait a minute, this is not what I was looking for. And
Yeah.
I don't think most of our new homes are next door to used car lots, but I just
Yes. Well, what I hear you saying over and over again is transparency, and it's like you got to give them the information online so that they can process it. But what that does though is that creates, if I'm correct in interpreting you, it creates that emotional connection by
Mhm.
being transparent, giving that information. And let's face it, as me as a salesperson, um, I would much rather talk to a lead that has gone through that process, that has that information, and then they've still committed to, wanting to have a conversation with me, versus somebody that doesn't have information, or at least has maybe bad information, and then I talk to them, I find out they're a bad lead. Because I think it's okay for a lead to self-qualify too. I mean,
Mhm.
literally, like if your entry-level homes are $1 million, you really don't want leads that have a budget of 500 coming in, and vice versa. If you really don't build over 500 or build townhomes versus single family, so on and so forth, you want to give them as much information so they know